Hi, I'm Allie, and in this Better Beader episode, we're going to reintroduce you to the simplest way to make earrings. I realize we start with a lot of kind of technical videos when we do thread and needle and advanced wire working, but we really also love to service the beginner beader. And I don't think we have a great video on how to make a very simple pair of earrings, and I think this one is great to watch to refresh or to learn how to put together headpins and ear wires. All right, so to go the easiest route, you have a head pin. This one happens to be a 1-inch. This is a 2-inch one here. And you're gonna put a bead on what's called a head pin. Head pin has a little head or a flat portion at the bottom. You stick your bead on and you have 3 pliers, a needle nose, a round nose, and a wire cutter. The easiest way to do this is to leave about 1/4 of an inch, cut your extra wire off, take your round nose pliers, hold your wire between the round nose where you can see it but you can't feel it, and simply roll that down. Now if it's open a tiny bit, go in a little smaller on your round nose pliers and close it up. You make a really simple loop. You take your ear wire here, whether or not it's this kind or a different kind, open it up by pulling to the side, put your eye pin that you just created on, and ta-da, you just made an earring. Another way to do so is to go in with your needle nose pliers, turn right above the bead, go in with your round nose pliers, holding right there at that turn. Take the wire over the top of the round nose pliers till it hits the bead, and then rotate your pliers just a little bit so your wire can go underneath, and then you take your wire cutters and cut off the extra. Same thing, it just gets you those 2 different versions of eye pins. In addition to that, there's something called a coiled eye pin. Just like we did where we turned with our needle nose pliers, we're gonna do the same thing. And you'll notice I used 3 different beads because there's no end in sight to what you can do. I used a little bead cap, a 10mm, and a 6mm pearl. Put the beads on and bend the pliers back away from me. I grab my round nose pliers and put them right into that turn. Being able to see both jaws of the pliers, I take the wire over the top and then it hits the beads. I have to turn my pliers so that way I can take the wire to the back. From here, I have that eye pin, but you'll notice I left a little bit of space. I take that extra wire and I'm gonna wrap it around the top of the pin, and this is called a coiled eye pin. Once you're done coiling, you take your pliers and you cut off the extra wire. So the round nose are only used to make that round loop, and everything else you're gonna hold with those chain nose pliers. I have a bunch of videos showing how to do these coiled eye pins if you wanna become a professional at your coiled eye pins where you're going in and taking it and turning it. Do you need to do this? Absolutely not. You can just do that plain turned over one. You can also make it easier or more complicated by adding additional ones together, like I did here, onto a ring called a jump ring, and just did it 3 times and added it onto the earring to make what's called a cluster earring. So whether or not you start out just doing that little turned over loop and make it as simple, go in and use your pliers to do a loop and just make sure that it's nice and closed, or learn to do the coiled eye pins. It's so easy to go in and create your own earrings from head pins and ear wires with these simple steps. So the next time you see a bead or something that you love that you think I would love to make that into an earring, you have the supplies and skills to make that happen. If you don't, we're happy to send them to you. Go ahead and look below the video in the description. It gives you links back to our website. This how-to is the most simple version, and we have over 2,500 videos to show you even more. If you haven't yet, hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss anything from us at PotomacBeads. Thanks so much for joining, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.